So hello, welcome to the LawyerFair Daily Podcast. My name is Andrew Weaver, CEO of LawyerFair. Now, if you go to a networking event, you may well bump into a business coach or a business mentor. And I don't know, maybe I'm a little cynical and maybe I've seen a few too many years on the clock, but I'm not always sure that every business coach I bump into is going to deliver me with great value. But I tell you what, I'm going to speak to a chap today called Francis Seriau. Welcome, Francis, talking to us from France. Thank you for joining us.
Welcome, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Not at all. Well, Francis is going to go into much more detail than I'm going to provide, but just as a little build-up, I mean, he was the founder of the world-renowned tech music schools. And so he is an entrepreneur, business mentor, and musician. And actually, he brings all of those three skills together in the mentoring that he does for a wide range of clients. And I'm going to do one quote, Francis, and then leave you to pick up on it. A quote from one of your clients. He said that, or she said, I think it was, Francis uses creative activities as tools for health and well-being as part of the mentoring process. So I think that's rather a nice introduction because I'm liking the different way that you provide your mentoring, Francis. So please give me a bit more background about what you do and how you do it.
So maybe quite quickly, originally I'm a musician, and I became entrepreneur as a natural course. I then created a group of music schools, which became one of the 5 biggest music schools in the world, welcoming people in Chiswick from all over the world to study with us on a full-time basis. And by the time that I sold my group of music schools, which was about 5 years ago, we had 1,000 students from about 50 different countries. So my background is both creative, is in the creative sector and in the business sector as well. I guess I was lucky to have both. Usually we don't. Usually people are either creative, or they either have a creative mind or a business mind, but it's rare that they have both. And you're either a great creative and you do fantastic things with your art form, or you have a great business mind, but the two don't necessarily go together. And I was lucky to have both, and throughout my career I helped, trained very successfully a lot of very successful musicians that you will now see on the international stages. What I do now...
Francis, I can't let you get away with that. Give me a quick name. Give me a couple of names that are on the international stages.
Bands that everybody will know, like Radiohead or The Cure,
oh, wow.
Basement Jaxx. When looking on my website, you will see many of the very successful musicians that I've trained with my teams, and they were people who came to us with a dream, and we helped them turn that dream into reality. And so it's about giving them the right creative skills and the right business skills, because if you are a creative person, you need to be able to underpin your creativity with great business skills. You need to be able to sell it, to market it, to structure, to do all the things that normal business people do. So since I've sold my group of music schools, I've been doing a lot of mentoring. I'm not really a coach. I'm not a technical mentor. But what I'm very good at is to be able to help people from wherever they are get to wherever they want to get to. So it's being able to make a good diagnostic of where the entrepreneur, the business are at, and to give them the right skills, advice, and tools to succeed. I was saying earlier that usually business creative people tend to lack the business skills, the business structure, the business understanding. They may be great architects, musicians, chefs, winemakers. They may, help people in the media sector, in advertising. So they may be very good at their art form, but they will lack the business skills. So what I do is first of all, I understand them very well because I am from that sector. And I help them shape, structure their business, their art form into something that can be successfully sold, marketed, but also I help them I show them how to run their business successfully. And on the other hand, I help people from the non-creative sectors who, and it is not derogatory, but will have a much drier approach to business, and I help bring a great creative element, creativity, originality, differentiation to their business. So it's both at the same time helping them grow the business, and also growing the entrepreneur, to help them become the leader that they need to be successful.
And the creative element, Francis, because I can clearly see the creative people, they don't have the capacity and the time to learn about business. So I can totally see how that fits in. The other way round, the business people, what elements of creativity have you found most useful? Or is there a particular case study where you brought a creative element into a rather dry business environment, or to a dry business owner, for want of a better term, and the creativity has really made a big difference?
Well, quite a few, and one which is, I'm not finding the right word here, but the people in the legal industry, legal, accounting.
You can't get drier than in the legal industry, Francis. So well spotted.
No comment. So people in the legal industry, accounting, and also IT. People that have helped, and it's bringing a different way to look at things. We all have a way of functioning. Our minds function in certain ways. So if your mind is not particularly creative, you will tend not to think outside the box. You will tend not to look at, let me rephrase that, you will tend to look at things in a very specific way. So what I help them do is to look at things in a different way. And it's training the mind, and it's not very complicated, to basically have a much broader view, more creative view, so that you can think outside the box and find different solutions to the problems that you have. Often we tend to find the solutions that we are aware of, that we can think of. When somebody shows you a different way to look at things, suddenly you have a whole new world of possibilities. So that can be in with regard to how to manage people, with regard to marketing, to selling, to networking, to engaging with new markets internationally. It all depends how you look at things. And what I found that I was very good at was to be able to look at things very differently, both from a business perspective and from a creative perspective.
I saw as well, and I think this, I picked up on your website. This might be a key area, but your work with the individuals within a business is quite key, and the ability to get businesses getting the best out of people, and again the bringing in the creative side and the creative way of thinking. Have you found with individuals within businesses that that's also been a real game changer for them?
A business is about people. It's about the owner, and the owner will inject the whole feel in a business without necessarily realizing it. But the way the business is often the way the owner is. And working with the owner on helping them grow, helping them develop as leaders, working with the business, are two facets that are key in my work. But I tend to work very closely with the business owner or owners, and of course, helping them work closely with their teams, understanding people, understanding what they value, what their dreams and their aims are. You can't just have people who work for you and treat them like workers who turn up and just do the work and go home. You have to have a different kind of relationship, particularly these days, with your teams. And being a leader is a key part of a business. It doesn't have to be a big business, but as soon as you have a team, you are a leader. So it's growing people and businesses all at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Well, I mean, we're growing our business at LawyerFair, and I myself might even have to give you a call, Francis, because we are developing a team as we speak. So, all of those skills are being required by me and by others within our team. Listen, you've been a star for joining us. I know you're based in West London, but you're currently back in Eastern France.
I'm in Eastern France for the next couple of weeks, and then back in London for more exciting work.
Well, I look forward to. Francis and I have just found out that we live very close to each other, so hurrah for that! That's a bonus from the chat, if nothing else. And I have to tell you that Ealing is bathed in beautiful sunshine this morning, Francis.
I'm jealous. Today's raining here.
Well, the sun always shines on Ealing. Thank you so much for your time. I also have to say your website is very cool, as you would expect from a creative person like you. So, if anybody wants to look for more, just give us the. To be absolutely clear, just spell the surname. So it's Francis
Seriau, which is spelled S for Sierra, ERIAU.
Super. So it's francisseriau.com, but that will be on the podcast as well, on the notes for the podcast. So if you've missed that or struggle with the pronunciation, which I'm sure you won't, but if you do, it's all on our website and the podcast. Francis, thank you so much for joining us. Have a great day.
Thank you, Andrew. You too.
Not at all. That was the LawyerFair Daily Podcast. Thank you for listening. We'll have more tomorrow.